What's going on, everybody? How's it going? This is Seth Keeping It Real. I'm so happy to be with you today. I think every day I'm in a different room here at these offices to record, and it's kind of fun. So today I'm going to take you guys through how to create a badass logo for your Amazon brand. And I'm going to show you, as I promised you, exactly what we are doing. So just a few minutes ago, I was sitting here at this table with Alan. He's been hustling all day on this, and we go through all these different tasks, and we're building a new Amazon brand, a new Amazon store, so we can teach you guys how to succeed from our experience, but starting over. So this is not from our own personal Amazon stores like we have been teaching you. We're doing it from scratch. I hope and I really pray that this encourages you guys to prove you can start brand new on Amazon today and make a ton of money. And just as an example, just a few minutes ago, one of our coaches, Alan, was telling me how the first time he met with one of our warriors, she was making zero money, and she had come up with this really cool product invention. He just met with her several months later, and she's doing 37 units a day. And her question was, am I doing okay? Am I doing something wrong? I was like, of course you're doing great. And her ACoS is around 20 to 22%. And with her next order, she will be at 40% profit margin. Now, again, hear what I'm saying, guys. She joined just one dime. She was making no money. He met with her recently, and she's now doing 37 sales a day. Now, what I'm about to show you guys is exactly what we've been working on, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And guys, it is not hard. It's simple. Now, let me go back. Building a business is hard, but the steps themselves aren't hard. You know, have you ever walked into an airport and you're like, man, how did they build this? And it seems overwhelming. What if you said, wait a minute, if you just focus on each step? Well, first you need to lay out the architecture. Then you need to do this. And you take one step at a time, all of a sudden it's not so hard anymore. So today I'm going to take a few minutes to teach you guys, there's just very simple steps. How do you create a badass logo for your Amazon brand? Step number one, understand what your customer loves, hates, and fears. The three strongest emotions in the world are going to be love, hate, and fear. So for example, if you know that your customer loves ice cream, then you want your logo, name, and look to feel tasty. If you know that your customer hates spiders, then you want it to feel safe. In other words, you need to understand what is the feeling I want my logo to provoke inside someone. When Nike came out with their logo look in their brand, the idea was not to feel romantic, not to feel sleepy, not to feel cozy, but to feel active, to take action, to do something, to do it. So that's why they have that swoosh. That's why it's Nike. That's why it comes from the Greek word for victory. There's a reason behind it. Well, in the same way, when you're trying to figure out what is my logo name, what is my brand name, what does the logo look like, you need to begin with understanding the customer. Remember, guys, everything you do must revolve around your future customer. If you build it for them, not for you, you will end up building it for you as well, and you will make great money in the process. So again, step number one, understand what your customer loves, hates, and fears. The way you do that is you join Facebook groups that are into the kind of topic you are going to be selling. If you are selling products for moms who are pregnant, then you need to be joining Facebook groups of moms who are about to have a baby. If you're selling a product to someone who loves race cars, then you need to be joining Facebook groups that are about race cars. In just a matter of weeks, you will begin to understand the lingo, the way they think and talk and hear, breathe and smell and so forth. The other place you can get this is when you study your competitor reviews on Amazon. This is still the most powerful way I know to get some amazing market data. And once you understand the customer, you build a logo, you build a brand that revolves around that feeling. Step number two is you're going to write down adjectives that make the customer feel what you want them to feel. You want your logo to project the feeling that you want your customers to have when they see it. Let me give you an example. When I go through Amazon and I am looking at different products, and we've been going through a lot of products, some of these products have logos that produce a feeling that fits the product. And some, it's confusing. You know, why are they using this pink, feminine-ish, flowery-ish logo, but we're talking about something that, you know, is for deodorant for men? It just doesn't match. So you want to make sure you're building it, again, for the psychology of the customer. So just start writing down adjectives. There shouldn't be, 1,500. It may just be 2, 3, or 4. And just ask a simple question. What is the feeling? What do I want them to feel when they see this logo? And if it ties in with the product, it's going to be very easy to quickly come up with these adjectives. Step number 3, use LogoJoy to create a mockup. Now, we're going to do this by example right now. I'm going to switch over to logojoy.com. I want to show you how this works. By the way, I don't get an affiliate for this. I don't have a relationship with LogoJoy. But if you go to LogoJoy, and let's just make up a brand name. Let's say the brand name is Toskin, Toskin, Toskin. And I'm just giving you an example of how you can do this. Now, let's say Toskin. Now remember, notice how fictional and arbitrary it is. It's not very descriptive. It's very hard to get a brand name trademarked if it's descriptive. If it's like, great stands for computer stands, or special pads or special tracks for track pads. Because those are common words, it's not only harder to get them trademarked, it's also harder to defend them in court, and more likely you're going to be stepping on someone's toes. So you want to go with a very arbitrary, random, but cool sounding brand name. Now, when I think of Toskin, it might make me think of tusks of a mammoth. It might make me think of glaciers and snow. It might make me think of going down a mountain on skis. Maybe this brand name was built for ski equipment. Do you get where I'm going? It has some kind of relativeness in the back of my mind to the product. This probably wouldn't be a great name if I'm selling, flowers. Toscan flowers just doesn't sound as cool. And I know that's very subjective, but I'm just speaking openly here. You want to make sure they feel relevant. Okay, now I'm going to click the Get Started button, and I'm going to show you how you can use LogoJoy. It's really cool, even if you're just using it to get ideas. So now you're going to talk about the actual product. So let's type in ski, S-K-I, and see what comes up. All right. Let's change it. Let's try outdoor. Let's do something a little more broad. That's too specific, obviously. Okay, let's hit continue and see if that pulls up anything. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's giving me recommended logos based on what I just typed in, based on the outdoor idea. And so I'm going to scroll through here slowly, and I'm just going to pick 5 that I like. Red Kinetic, I kind of like that one. Now remember, guys, it doesn't have to be that name. It's just the look and the feel. Let's see. Let's try Jive. That feels kind of outdoor. Let's go back up a little bit. Oh, let's try a pair. No, not that one. Let's try. Okay, let's keep going down. Keep going down. Keep looking. Keep looking. Definitely not toxic. That one's too funny. Keep going. Okay, let's try. Here, let's keep going. Was that the end of it? Okay, so why don't we try, let's try Skyrocket and let's try Onyx. We're going to select these as well. So now we've selected 4 of 5. Let me scroll back up again. Let's try Sonata. Okay, so I'm just going to pick 5 of these. Sonata on the bottom right. Okay, I'm going to hit continue. And now let's see where this takes us. Okay, now what are the colors that I want? Now remember, these are color, these are like Pantones. These are like all the different shades of purple, the shades of green. And you can work with those later on. But we're just going to pick a few. We're going to pick 3 that associate most with what you're looking for. I'm going to start with grayscale, the first one. And then teal for sure. And then let's scroll down and look at some more. Let's try, okay, sure, we'll do red. All right, we're going to hit continue. Okay, well, I'm going to ignore the slogan section. I'm going to hit continue. Okay, and now we're going to hit make suggestions, and we're just going to see what ideas does it bring for me. And again, this is logojoy.com if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now it's giving me all these ideas for logos. Now, this is a bunch of outdoor stuff. I'm going to go ahead and skip this just for time's sake. You can take time to go through this later. And let's see what it pulls up while it loads. And it's going to make me have to sign up. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. I just did this a few minutes ago without having to sign up, and it took me to the next step, no problem. So apparently there's only so many times I'll let you use it. On the next step, what it does is it will show you a whole bunch of logos that you can pick from. You literally can take one of those and use it as a sample that you're going to give to your graphic designer, which brings us to our next step. And the next step is you're going to send the adjectives and the mock-up to a graphic designer. Now, what this does is it gives them an idea and a feeling that you're trying to create. There's nothing more frustrating to a graphic designer than trying to tell them to create a logo, but you don't give them description. And if you give them 10,000 different ideas, that's too much. You need to give them just a few adjectives. They combine that, and then you go in and they're going to create it for you and give you some options. Your logo is all about the feeling you're creating for your Amazon brand and your e-commerce brand. I want to give you guys a real life example of how this actually has worked out super practically for us. So as many of you guys know, we are getting an office space even beyond this one that we actually are going to build out the way we love. It's going to be amazing, even more beautiful than this one that you guys have seen. And when we have it built out, we have to get an architect who does graphic design to give us ideas on how to build it out. Not graphic design, but design of the building, design of the rooms. And as you walk in, there's one room called the common area, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to have couches, it's going to have chairs, it's going to have these super cool shutters that go over the windows that shut out the light. And the idea is, if you're tired of working in the office area, you could go and sit in there. Or if you want to have a meeting, or if you want to get a cup of coffee, there's going to be a nice coffee bar. We have all these super cool things we're planning for our team. I took the exact same principles that I use when creating a new logo, and I applied them to the designer, the architect, for the office space. I got a bunch of pictures of examples of offices. I came up with several words like creativity, collaboration, community, openness, that are true of just one dime, authenticity, and I sent them to our COO, who sent them to her, so that she had an idea of what we needed. And she had very few questions. When we met with her, she already had a very strong idea of what we were looking for. If you find a good graphic designer, they can make an amazing logo if you provide the right communication. But let me just add one thing. A big mistake a lot of Amazon sellers make is they put so much focus on the logo that they feel like the logo is going to make or break the business. It would be better to have an ugly logo, but a lot of trust built around that logo, than to have a beautiful logo and think that just makes you a brand. It doesn't. The only power your logo has is the trust that you build around it. So when people see the logo, they automatically are going to think strength, or safety, or beauty, or healthy, or hilarious. You see, the logo needs to complement the feeling, but it's extremely important that when you have it built, you now are going to live the next several years of your life building trust around the logo. And the best way to do that is follow through on what you say. That is the strength of a brand. The strength of a brand is not being authentic. Because if, let's say, your logo represented, just sort of a flashy lifestyle and always trying to be impressive and always trying to show off, but if you're consistent to that, people will not hate your logo. People will resonate with it, the people who like that. But if, on the other hand, your logo is all about trust and being consistent, but then you compromise that, people won't trust you. You see the difference? So the key isn't so much what you stand for, but that when you stand for it, you are consistent in standing for it. That is the strength of a logo. The idea is, when I look at a logo, it immediately needs to put a feeling in my mind. I mean, even when I see the M for McDonald's, it brings back a feeling, I'm loving it, in my mind immediately. How is that? Because they have created a brand around that logo, and they've been extremely effective at doing it. All right, guys, hope this has been super helpful for you. I just wanted to go live really quick and just share with you what we are doing with our Amazon stores, and we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to keep on teaching you every freaking thing we can. You guys have an awesome day, and I will see you later. Goodbye.